So I'm sorry I'm missing you today, but this will be your video for warm-ups to practice along with this beat. So we'll start with a nice neck roll all around one direction. And when you're done one, go back around the other direction. The order doesn't matter, just make sure you're checking in with yourself. Nothing should pull or hurt, it should be pretty gentle. So roll your shoulders back a couple times when you're done that, and then go forward a couple times. Okay, and I'm sitting at the piano because I'm playing warm-up, so I will fake this, but you will do it fully. So wiggle your hips, and then pretend you're doing an imaginary hula, an imaginary hoop, and now ride an imaginary bike. And now do a nice circle draw a circle in the air with your toes to wiggle your ankles and wiggle your toes, and then just wiggle your full body, get your whole jellies out, and just go from top to bottom. Your turn. I'm sure it sounded wonderful. Now go bottom up. I'm sure that sounded great too. So now do a wide open face like you got a surprise, and then squish like you ate a lemon. Then open again, and squish. Okay, now repeat after me. The tip of the teeth, the lips, the tongue. I saw a smitten kitten wearing mittens eating chicken in the kitchen. I'll say it again. I saw a smitten kitten wearing mittens eating chicken in the kitchen. You try it. I'm sure that went well. Say, she sees cheese, but 3 times fast. I'll do it with you. She sees cheese, she sees cheese, she sees cheese. Okay, that one's usually pretty tough. So let me know how you did on that one. And then one last one, just say A-E-I-O-U, but squish them all together. A-E-I-O-U. It'll just wake up your whole mouth. You do that one. I'm sure it sounded great. They always sound silly when we do these ones, hey? So let me just angle this down a little bit more. So you should, I hope, be able to hear my piano pretty clearly. But our first warm up today, we're just gonna do a hum. So here's our first pattern. Make them nice and slidey, nice and legato. Remember, legato is the music word for smooth. Oh, I gotta move my eraser. Okay, here we go, humming. 2, 3, 4. One more of these. Okay, now keep that same pattern, but this time we're going to laugh at a funny joke. So for these, you're gonna go he, and you still want these to be very, very smooth, very legato. So it's gonna sound like this now. And remember, we talked about glottal onset. So a hard glottal onset would be like E, and you can kind of hear like the push at the beginning of each E. What's actually happening there when you hear that sound is if these are your vocal cords, they're like high-fiving each other. High-fiving is kind of a nice way of saying it. What's happening is they're like smacking against each other. So you don't want that. That's when we go That's a hard glottal onset. What we want is called a soft glottal onset. And your vocal folds are still vibrating because that's how they make sound. But it's a much less harsh smacking into each other. So a soft glottal onset is like E. It's almost like an H. It's almost like saying he. But the H is silent. So think of it like a tiny, tiny puff of air between each note. Because that's what the letter H is in the English language, right? It's just air. It's air. So you want to think he. Tiny puffs of air before this one. Okay, so here we go. E. I'll do it with you. 2, 3, 4. E. Focus on soft glottal onset. Two more. warm up. So before we do, pretend you've had a very, very long day and go, oh, and just sigh like you're dropping onto the couch. Go, sigh. I'm sure it sounded wonderful. So when you do that, when you sigh, you should feel like a drop in the back of your throat. So feeling that drop will really help you to hit those no notes and do them with lots of control and lots of support. So on the way down, we're going to say O, E, O, E, O. And this is the opposite of this one. We don't want legato. We want more staccato, but you still want that puff of air with the silent H. So our pattern going down, we're going to go O, E, O, E, O. So a little legato at the end, but it should be staccato, 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 legato. And remember, staccato is the opposite of legato. So if legato means like this, oops, I'm holding down the wrong pedal. Very smooth legato or staccato would be more like that. They're nice and short. My little dancing man almost went for a ride there. So staccato, short all the way down, O, E, O, except at the end. It'll make sense. I'll do it with you. Here we go. O, E, O, E, O. It's low, but try one more. O, E, O, E, O. Good for you if you got that last one, because I even sometimes don't have that note, and I have a pretty low voice, so good job. Okay, so that's your warm-up video for today. I'll make you separate videos for your songs, but there you go, warm-ups for the week. Have a good one. Happy practicing.